Hello horse friends and welcome back to the Imperfect Equestrian. This week I thought we'd do a bit of a barn vlog where we do a mismatch of things that have been going on, maybe some training, have a look at how the horses have been doing, some grooming, things like that. So let's see what we've been getting up to.
I kinda adore you, but don't get too proud. You're like my favorite snack, I won't say it out loud. I won't say you're perfect, we all know you're not. But hey, you're the best kind of way that I got.
When we were last out with JJ in the trailer, I'd actually noticed that a lot of the tyres had really bad cracks going all the way through. So that's quite dangerous to drive with. So as soon as we could, we had the tyres removed and we were going to have some new ones put on. So we did 3 to start with because I could get the other one done at a later date, because when we looked at the spare, we thought the spare looked a really good tread and it had never been used. We thought that's got no cracks on, it'll be fine. But then you might remember this from our last video. We've got the new tyres on the trailer. However, we had 3 new tyres done because the spare looked quite good, and today the spare is a little bit flat. So it should be alright because we only live just down the road, so I should pop JJ in the other side to go back home. We have got a spare with us, but I haven't got any equipment to change it over. So, but we'll be alright, it's not far. So it turned out that the tyre wasn't just a little bit flat, it actually had a gaping puncture in it. We must have picked it up on the way down to the waterfall. So we had to change that tyre, and luckily the one that we hadn't changed from before we'd put on as a spare, and that spare is reasonable for now. So we've put that back on for now. We're not really planning any particular outings, but we'll get that other tyre fixed and then we'll have 4 new tyres and it'll all be good. I've really been having some fun filming the vlogs lately with the new DJI Neo 2 drone, and as you've seen I've been getting some great results, but it is tech and tech can go a little bit not how you planned sometimes. So let's have a look at a couple of the bloopers that I've filmed whilst I've been trying to make the videos. So I wanted to test the drone on the track behind our house, but if you have a look you can see how close a lot of the branches were. It was destined for disaster right from the start. So I got the drone out set up, and I decided that because I was doing it in a more bushy area and I was planning on going a bit faster, that I would also set up the app so that if it did drop and I'd gone off pretty quick, she'd run off, then I would be able to find it because it has a location setting on there. So I thought that was the safest thing to do. So once I'd set it up on my phone, I popped it in a little pouch where it can't be knocked. It's got no reaction. I can't knock any buttons on it, and then it was safe to follow us.
Droney, circle, rocket, cycling updated. Follow. Low angle, flat, rear left, rear.
Right, are you ready, JJ? Because we're gonna turn up this way a little bit, this way a little bit. Oh, right, we're gonna try the drone obstacle avoidance. Hopefully JJ doesn't jump as much right now.
Rear, cycling follow, 3, 2, 1.
Good girl. Good girl. Okay. So straight away, as it was backing up, it unfortunately encountered a twig that was a little bit too fine to detect. And that was it. It was on the floor. Okay. Okay, well, that didn't go too well to start with, did it? Fortunately, it did happen whilst we were quite still, and JJ hadn't tried off anywhere ready to go, so it didn't take me too much difficulty to find it. Try again.
Rear, cycling follow, 3, unable to take off. Make sure aircraft, rear, cycling follow, 3, 2, 1.
Have you got me? Walk on. Walk on. You can see that even though it's getting quite close to those little twigs there, we do have a much greater success this time. And we set off and it is indeed following us. So I was quite happy, and I knew I'd get some good footage for any video I wanted to make from that. As it travels along, you do see how near some of the little twigs come into view. And you can see how, even though it's got the obstacle avoidance, it's not really built for such tiny things. Look how close those are there. It's amazing it got through that space at all. When I've seen videos of it doing obstacle avoidance, people have been in much more open woodland where you can get yourself through without hitting anything, and the branches are at least a bit thicker, if not with foliage already on them. I was really kind of pushing the boundaries. I wasn't sure how it'd work with this kind of situation. And yeah, you can see me here, even though I'm having to scrape past everything, and how I would expect it to get through there, I don't know.
Landing.
Okay. Oh. Is it landing or is it coming? Yeah, it's landing. Okay.
When I'd looked back, it hadn't exactly crashed like before. It was just delicately coming down into a landing, so I could see easily where it was on the path, and I could head back and find it again. I didn't need to use the app. It was easy enough to spot.
Get it. JJ, wait. Good girl.
I decided that was it. I'd leave it with the drone for now, and I'd ride on a bit more and see if I could find a slightly more open space to use it.
Get back on again. Walk on. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl.
You can see as we go on here that still, even for my head and my camera, we've got quite a few tricks around. And as we went through, we did actually eventually come up to a place that had quite a few twiggy bits around by her legs, and it was getting a bit too difficult to go forward, and I could see it was very much the same going forward. So decided we'd give up on this ride and head back.
We'll go back then. Ouch. Careful.
And that was the end of drone flying for that day.
Good girl. There we go.
This was a totally different occasion, and the first thing I want you to know is just listen to the wind around you. I hadn't really noticed on the day, but it was very, very windy where we were. Couldn't really feel it too much on the ground, but you'll notice it in a bit.
Helix, spotlight, cycling follow, high angle, front left, rear, rear.
So the first thing I hadn't really expected is JJ hadn't heard it go off for a while, and she actually jumped when it went off.
Good girl, JJ. Good girl.
That was it though. That was the only reaction she had.
Good girl.
And she didn't react again and hasn't reacted again since.
Okay, carrot, JJ.
I decided to crack out the High Valley reward just to keep it as a positive experience for her. I checked behind me once just to check it was following me, and it seemed to be fine. It was only about the second or third time I'd used it out in public, and I could hear it following. I could actually hear a little bit of resistance with the wind, but not having much experience with it at this point, I hadn't really thought much about it being too windy, and it's not until I went to land it that I noticed. Now, I use this bit of road because I can see quite well both ways, and I've had a couple of occasions where a car comes, and usually I just put out my hand and the drone comes down, and there is zero problem at all. I catch it very quickly and just go to the side where there's lay-bys or things like that. Now on this occasion you can see that the wind is kind of guiding it around quite a few directions, and I spotted at one point a lorry coming at the top, so I stopped and turned and tried to land the drone, and it was only at that point that I really noticed how much difficulty the drone was having in getting back to me. It was really fighting the wind, and I was a bit worried about taking too long to get it, so I decided to hop off and go get it from the ground.
1 second. Come on,
Even when on the ground, I was seeing just how difficult the drone was finding it to land because of the wind, and I was starting to get a bit more flustered because of the traffic that was waiting at the top. Now when I turned around, I noticed that I'd accidentally pulled JJ's bridle off over her head, so that made me feel even more flustered. I dropped the drone and eventually was heading back to the lay-by. I was shouting up to the lorry to come down, but although I thought, oh, they've seen me with the drone and they're going to be annoyed that I was catching the drone and that, and here the bridle comes off again, so I'm getting even more flustered. I was actually realising that they thought something was wrong, so they were staying at the top and they wouldn't come down at all. So I just kept calling and trying to use hand signals to make it really clear that it was safe to come down.
Come on. It's fine. You can come on.
It occurred to me sometime after that possibly because the lorry driver was so far away, he hadn't actually ever seen the drone at all, and he probably thought I was giving him hand signals to stop. So I thought I'd put the drone away and lead her up, but then I realised her bridle has come off again. So again, I'm feeling really worried about upsetting the driver, and I'm getting agitated that things are just not working out very well all round. I decide, after trying to get him to move again, and he's not coming down, that he thinks there must be a problem, so I'm going to have to walk up there. And you can see how far away that little square lorry is. It's going to take us a while to walk up there. I set off walking, and then I realised that I've dropped the stick, so I go to get my stick, and I thought maybe we'll go down instead. Then I think, well, that's silly, it's just not going to work. I'll try and call him again and make it really clear.
Come down.
Fortunately, at some point, a car comes along, thinks that the lorry is parked, and decides to go around the lorry. He then sees horse in the road, panics a little bit that
down.
actually there is a problem and waits,
Calm
and
down.
then he
She's
notices that I am waving forward, and he comes down first, and the lorry does follow. So it all does
She's
work
fine.
out in the
Come
end.
on.
And fortunately,
Thank you.
when they go past,
Thank
they all
you.
seem in good
Thank you.
spirits and actually quite happy that they waited for
Good
the
girl.
horse. So it was a bit of drama from my
Yeah, she's
end,
fine.
but
Come
it
on.
worked out fine, and
Come on.
nobody was actually upset at the end of the day.
Good girl. Good girl. Thank you. Good girl. Give her another carrot. Thank you. Thank you. I knew that would come over ears because it's not tight enough, is it? Thank you. Oh my gosh. Well, that was a bit of a disaster, wasn't it?
And that was it. The drama was averted, everything was okay, everybody was happy, and I could mount up and get back on with a ride again.
Flying drones on public roads. Not really. One, two. One. Yeah. Come up. Whew. That was fun.
One very annoying thing that's happened this week is we actually tried to get the muck trailer out to empty it along the hedge line, and the ground was a bit wetter than we thought. We thought it was nice and dry, but both the quad and the trailer got well and truly stuck in the mud. Luckily, when we unhooked the trailer, the quad did manage to get free, but other than that, you know, we'll have to wait until it dries up to go rescue it. On a more positive note, I had a lovely grooming experience with both horses, so let's have a look at that now. Let's take a look at one of JJ's training sessions this week.
So I'm about to ride JJ, and I've given myself some challenges today. You might notice she's not got a bridle on. She's got the horseman's hackamore halter on, so it's got the reins and the lead rope. And I'm also, you can see, in the big field, so we could be having some challenges. Let's not call it stupid, let's call it choosing to challenge ourselves. Good girl, come on. Good girl. Come nearer, good girl. There we are. Right there. There we are, we're on. Oh, and did I mention it's a windy day today, just to add to the equation. I've got the longer stick, so that if she doesn't listen to left and right, I can use it to back up the turns by signalling round. We're not going to go too far out, I don't think. Let's try stop and back up. Nice, nice. Good girl, JJ. Let's get a little bit of carrot. Ooh. Careful, nearly got me fingers. Try some basic turns. Good girl. That's it, good girl. Good girl. Let me eat some grass for a second. Let's try the other way. Good girl. That's it, good girl. Really looking for that back end to give it in. Good girl. Good girl. See if we've got some lateral flexion. Let me just pop the stick away a minute. Okay, so I don't want it to move this time. If I get head up, I just want it to bend her neck. So I don't want it to move. There we are. Good girl. Bashed her teeth on the stirrup, bless her. Again, I'm just pulling slightly. That's it. We're not asking for it, so that's it. You don't have to whack your teeth on the stirrup, silly. So every time she brought her own head round, I just released a bit, and I wasn't pulling her head into the stirrup, she just brought it around and just happened to misjudge it on both sides. So that's our emergency brake if she does take off anywhere. Although we're running in the field, and last time she cantered, she tended to stop at the gate, so technically speaking we should be okay. Let's try have a little walk around with some turns. Okay, so I'm going to turn probably to the right first. I'm going to want the stick on this side just to help me assist the turn. That's it. Good, there we are. Go up here, take to the right. She's leaning on it a bit, so I'm going to use the stick to back it up, because this is what I don't want, is I don't want to have to use my full force. Good girl. I don't want to have to use my full force to turn her. So the first signal I'm giving is on the rein, and then the next signal is backing up with a stick to turn. That's it, turn more. Good girl. Good girl. There we are. Well done. Good girl. Try the other way again. That's it. So walk around a bit, and then when I want to turn to right, use the right rein. If she doesn't listen too much, then we're going to bring in the stick and turn around to the right. Good. Good girl. Same again. A little bit heavy, so bring in the stick. And you can see I'm not hitting her with the stick or anything, we're just waving it in front of her head to help her turn. Swap sides. Turn left. Little heavy, so bring in the stick. Good girl. Nice. Good girl. Rein first. That was a bit lighter. Good. Rein first. A little bit with the stick. She's a little bit heavy. So this is what we're lacking, is some schooling. So this is great. To the right. Heavy. Bring in the stick. And became lighter. That's good. So I think what I might do, just stop it for a second, is put a little knot in my reins so that I can use one hand at a time a little bit easier, because they're quite long, these reins, and now I can just kind of go like that a bit more. Still got my handle if she puts her head down. So let's try again. Right rein, heavy, so we'll go with the stick. Good girl. Left rein. That's a bit better. There we are, left rein. Not too bad. Good girl. Didn't need the stick that time, that was great. So when I'm not using reins, I'm trying to keep them loose. It's another reason I'm keeping her down this end of the field. Good girl. Good girl, this is nice. A little bit heavy now, because we're near the gate. So turn until she's light. Good girl. Try the other way. Heavy. Oh, better. Didn't quite get the stick all the way down then. She saw it coming and turned. Okay, good girl. Nice. We turn to the left. Oh, she's going to snort out, but we're going to keep going anyway. Good girl. Lovely. Lovely. Good girl. Because ultimately I want her a bit like Comanche. I don't really want to use the bit at all. Comanche, most of his life, has had just the rope bridle, but I do need to be safe with that, and using my full strength to try and turn her is not safe. So she needs to understand these turns, good girl, so well that I can just do them anytime without the stick. Turn here. Good girl. Nice. A little too easy, heading back to the gate. Good girl. Very good, JJ. And of course these not quite figure eights, but I am turning left and turning right. It's very calming for her as well. So it's a great exercise for the field where she gets a little bit het up because she's not used to riding in the field. And you can see we're staying in this safe zone, as you might want to call it. Safe zone is extending slightly, but basically we're staying quite near to the gateway, so she doesn't feel that she needs to run off anywhere particular. She's getting a little bit better at turning now sometimes. It's definitely still very related to the gateway and where she likes to turn and doesn't, but some of the turns are much lighter, whereas before she was just objecting for the sake of objecting. So I'm going to try and use my body a little more as well now. So you might lose vision of her a bit as I turn, and then use the rope, and then use the stick if we need to. Good girl. So obviously, again, the ultimate will be to not have the even the head collar on, and just be bridleless. So this is where we are aiming, and if I want to achieve that, I need to start training it. So as you can see from going around the pole here, we're quite a bit further away now. Good girl. She does keep choosing to stop quite a bit, but at least she's not like bolting off. I can see her licking and chewing in the shadow. Good girl. Still going to go to the right, so looking right, pulling right, backing up with a stick. Right, left, backing up with a stick. See if we can actually go over the pole. Well done, JJ. Good girl. Take her back over near the gate, do some turns over there. Okay. Look right, rein right, and turn. Very good, girl. See if we can go left now. Left, rein left, bit of back up with a stick. Good girl. Look left, rein left, and she is turning. Good girl, no stick required. Right, see if we can extend the distance just a tiny bit more, but without her running off, hopefully. So right we go, quite a bit further over. Oh, can we be brave and go over this pole up here? Looking right, using the stick as backup. Good girl. Well done. She is doing well. Oh, she might even want to go over this one here. Let's see. A little bit of backup. There we go. Nearly, not quite. Maybe this one. We're all blown over in the wind. No. I'm getting too precise here, but look how far we are away now. That's great, and we're not running off anywhere. Come to see our friends up here. Good girl. Right, so we're now heading down towards the gate again, and hopefully we don't break into a trot or anything, because usually when I'm in the big field and we're heading back there, she breaks into a trot. So this is really, really good. It's amazing how even when it's windy, she's having a really calm day. You just never know, do you? I'm going to look right, and oh, very good, JJ. Very good. Back up with the stick a little. Good girl. We just got the end bit, that's fine. Gonna see her friends a little bit. There we are, and we're gonna go left here. Yeah, there's your friends, but we're not gonna go too close. Good girl. That's it, so she's heard Comanche now. That might mean that she wants to run back. No. Come on. Keep going on. Good girl. Really pleased with how calm she is today in this field. Good girl. Good girl. Walk on.
Unfortunately, the camera battery ran out before the end of the session.
So I'm on the last 15 minutes of this year's Top Barn Challenge, and I'm going through a very wet and soggy JJ and doing any kind of grooming I can. Well, we didn't have such a great session yesterday, unfortunately. So I thought this is maybe a little bit of bonding time for us. Just got to find where I put my comb. There we are. To spend some time together just to finish off the challenge
And it's very wet and rainy outside, so there's not a great deal we could do outside of getting too wet at the moment. I do hope everyone's had a great challenge. Congratulations to everyone who has managed to complete. And if you haven't managed to complete, don't worry. I've had years where I haven't managed to complete, and we just pick it up again next year. And we've done more completions than non-completions now in the past. So congratulations, everyone. And I'm going to carry on grooming my JJ. Of course, we did do another training session later in the week, so let's have a look at that now. I've brought JJ down to the field, and we're going to be doing a little bit of exercise. When I worked with her the other day, doing the carrot stick work, she got a little bit nappy again going forward in probably the worst she's done before, where she was just kind of moving around a bit, trying to like upset me. I shouldn't really rear or anything, but just lifted the front end a little bit, and it was getting towards that idea of she might think about that. So I got off after getting her to go forward a little bit better forward first. So I just managed to get to walk forward a little bit more, stopped there, got off, and I thought we'd work on going forward on the floor. And I just had her go around on the line, and she reverted to an old habit. I didn't have the stick to move her forward, I just had the lead rope, and we walk in and then we trotted, and then all of a sudden she just snatched the lead rope out my hands and took off and bolted around the field. And every time I got back, she just did that straight away, and she's done that before in the past. So what I want to do today is work on that. So I've got my 45-foot line here, which is a bit longer, and you can see I've got my gloves on, so I'm ready for her to snatch away from me and have a bit more protection. And we're going to work on see if we can get to walk, trot, and of course canter. So just before we start, I'm going to give her a bit of carrot. Gigi, just a reminder that we are friends, and good things around me is not just all about pressure. So I've got a bit of room to get back while she's there. I'll take advantage of that. I could have sent her back from further up, but might as well start from a bit further back. Just clear off the rest of this rope. I don't want to be getting tangled if she does take off, so make sure it's all lying out nice and as straight as it can be. There we go. So we'll aim for something slower to start with and see how it goes from there. Good girl. I'm not too worried about how far away she is from me. We're not aiming to be at the 45-foot mark, but I just want her to be moving around a bit, and I've got the rope there if I need to stop her. I'll probably have to run with her a little bit to give myself a chance to stop her, but the other day she had me down on the floor doing that. I just couldn't run fast enough, and we were going downhill here, so it just didn't work out that well. See if we can move her up a bit. Come on. Good girl. Good girl. Nice, good girl. So this is okay so far. I think she's understanding she's got a bit more room to move. Take her over the pole. I'll try and make sure the rope doesn't get too caught up on the poles as I'm on the ground. So this is about the point the other day where she just took off, if you know what I mean. Just going around like that, and she just decided to bolt off. So already somewhat of an improvement. I might even see if we can slow her down a bit. Nice. That's good. It was just such a shame the other day because I had such a good session with the carrot stick work and the halter riding. Good girl. She wants to come in, so I'll take that. Lovely. Good girl. And it felt like such a spoil to the end, and it really upset me actually that we had such a negative experience at the end. But you know, this is what I say, she's not highly trained, she's still very green. Good girl. I'm gonna take her the other way now, and off she goes. Good girl. Just a little, no, it didn't take off properly, that's good. Just a tiny bit of exuberance, I'm okay with that. Okay, check, she's not gonna just bolt now, she's got more room to turn. Lovely. This is where the longer line is a bit better, because I've got that room to just give her to go away,
and then bring her back under control. And obviously the gloves just help me if she does snatch it, that it's not going to hurt me. And you know, there's still a possibility of her taking it away. I've had to put my stick down just so I've got more control. Good girl. And she's calming again. Right, that's a good option. See if she'll come back into me. Lovely, good girl. Does she want to come? And I'll try and wait for her to be calm before I give her any reward. Good girl. Don't want to think she just comes back for sweeties and treaties. I want it to be a nice place and a safe place to come back to. So a lot of the reason that she does bolt off is not because she's a naughty girl, even though I know it feels that way. It's because she is inherently a right brain extrovert. Now, right brain extroverts get worried about things, get claustrophobic, and feel they need to move. So that's what happens with JJ. That's just how her nature is. A lot of the training I've done with her make her come across a bit more like a left brain introvert, which is slower, doesn't want to move and things like that, which is what we see with the napping. But originally she was more like a right brain extrovert, so we still see that come up sometimes. And basically when I'm doing work with her online, she does feel a little bit trapped sometimes and needs to move to get away. Send her the other way this time. So she's choosing to go off at a trot. Is she going to choose? Yeah, she's choosing to go faster. So she puts her head down, and that's a point at which she could feel trapped. So I am careful now. I've got the longer line to let her have that a bit, because if she felt pressure at that moment, she might actually decide to take off again. But this way I get to allow her to burn her energy. Yeah, she's picking up a little bit while still moving around, not feeling trapped. So we're not too far from the end of the line now, so I'll just be a little bit more cautious and careful. I wanted to burn the energy, try and get back up shorter. Good girl, that's it. So there was a decision made there. Basically, when she hit the same point she is now, going around that time before now, she was picking up a bit more speed. We were getting a bit more tension on the rope, and she was making a decision about whether to take off or not. But on her next lap round, she made a decision to stop. You can see how much snorting's coming out. So that's a really good decision. Very proud of her. I'll just let her have some grass and some grazing so that she knows that was a great decision to make. Good girl. There. So you can see how that's a little bit claustrophobic, how she throws her head up as I ask her to go off there. She does seem generally a bit calmer this way around so far. Could be talking too soon, for sure. That's it. Okay, let her have some rope, let her go around. We're on a hill as well. Don't know if you can see that as you're watching her go around, but that will help us kind of physically wear her out when she's not wanting to go forward. There we are, a decision made again. Good girl. So obviously, practically, when I am doing circles, I don't want her to just stop all the time, but currently I'm training her to not bolt off. So this is very helpful to me when she makes a decision to stop and graze and think about what just happened in the situation. And each time I'll try and take advantage to go the opposite way around. We can also look at how quickly she's eating. You can see they're little and quite quick bursts of grabbing the grass. So that's her feelings coming out. It'd be a little bit slower if she was feeling relaxed and content, but there's some big snatches, which is emotions, and they're quite quick. So she's got quick thinking and emotions. But the positive thing we can see is that she is blinking a lot. Her ears are positive and listening to me, talking to you. She's a little bit puffy, but then she's unfit and she's just been running up a hill, so that's not too alarming at the moment. Good girl. Good girl. And she's setting off in a walk. That's lovely. So I don't just want her to walk and show that she's calm by walking, because obviously there might be a case that when she goes faster she feels more emotion. So we need to, good girl, we need to experience all the gaits. But I'm pleased that she's feeling that she's in a place now where she can walk, whereas initially when we walked she quickly started to speed up a little bit. Let's try and get a bit faster. Good girl. Good girl. And she's actually choosing to go over the pole there, which was lovely, because usually she's very evasive unless you really kind of direct her towards it. But she actually came back in and made a choice to go over it because she thinks that's what I'm asking. Again, see the loose line? This is impressive. I'm going to give her a carrot for that. I know that's not our exercise at the minute, but I'm just so impressed that she was making some choices then that I really appreciate. Good girl. Can you see how that eating now is a little bit slower? Not quite as erratic as before. Still a bit snatchy, but the time between nibbles is starting to extend a little bit. Good girl. So all I want to do now, good girl, is send her back out in a minute. And I would like to see one more lot of fast work if I can, and then if she does that successfully I will be ending the session there, and I will be allowing Comanche to come back in the field for tonight. Okay, let's send her back out and to the left. There we are. Nice. So there you are, she's managed to stay at walk in this direction now as well. I'll just ask her to keep going. I don't want her just to think, remember that coming in stops it all the time. So when she is behaving, I can ask a little bit more. See how she successfully goes around. Does she seek the pole in this direction? She might. That's very nice. Good girl. We'll ask for a bit of trot. And she's much nearer now than she was before. She's not feeling like she needs to be quite so far away. Interesting. She was at the end of it, but she did go over it again. Oh, good girl. We didn't quite make the fast work, but I will take that because that's really going to help me out for exercises we want to do in the future. Right. Let's get this canter in that we want to see. There we are, good girl. Make sure my feet aren't getting tangled in the rope on the ground. Setting off on a trot, but it looked quite a relaxed trot. Good girl. That's it, let her go around it. Now I'm going to ask for the canter. Good girl. Good girl. Seems nice and controlled. A little bit more work up the hill, but that's okay. Good girl. That's it. And coming back, so we'll take that. And we'll do one more in the other way in a second. Carrot time. Lovely girl, well done. Good girl. Give her a second to think about that one. Go the other way. So choosing to leave at a trot there. Now that's a bit more fast speedy, so let's see if she corrects that in a minute. Was heading downhill at the time, but that's okay. Picking it up again. That's better. Bit calmer. I'll keep her going a minute. There we are. And over. I want to see it a bit calmer before I allow her to finish on that note. Good girl. So I'll wait till she comes round and I'll ask for the canter again. She looks like she might even blow out soon. A little bit fast. Oh, steady. Coming around better. Coming around better. There we are. Okay. I'm just going to take her back in a minute because she's choosing to come to me. which is nice, but I didn't like that as a finishing canter. See, it was a little bit erratic. She slipped at one point, it was bouncy. Still want to think that being with me is good. And we'll go back to the right again. How is she choosing to move? I've got no tension on the rope, and she's choosing to canter. I don't mind her putting her head down and working on it going uphill, because it is hard work to canter uphill. There, she's pulling out a bit there, that's not so good. Right, so this is a bit like the session the other day. We start very good, and then we have some sort of turn that's not so positive. There we go, keep going. And keep going this time. Go on, good girl. Want her to work through those emotions, good girl. Trot's feeling a bit calmer. Let's ask canter. Good girl. Good girl. One thing we have to remember as well is that because we don't work a lot on this kind of stuff, and you'll notice when I ride her faster sometimes, she falls out through the shoulder a lot. So she's not physically much balanced. So it's very difficult for her to actually canter around in a circle. So the fact that she moves out a bit is not too alarming. There we are. That was nice. Took a bit more to get her into it. Let's see if she'll stay out there a sec. There we are. I would love to see some sort of snort at this point, really. A blowout. But I don't know if we're going to get it quite yet. She still looks a little bit tense. Give her a minute to think about it. Licking and chewing, that's really good. There we go, magical. So I'm still looking for a bit more relaxation in both directions. So we're going to go off to the left again one more time in a minute, and hopefully that'll be a bit more positive so that I can let her off, because it's good to end on a good note. But I am glad we've worked through this extra little bit of tension that you can see she's now releasing. Very good. And still, if we look at her chewing of the grass, it's still, even though she did get tense then, it's still a lot slower than it was earlier. Still got some nice blinking going on, and she's listening very well to me. See, her ears constantly pivoting towards my words. Okay, right, I'm gonna try for the left one now. Come on, come on, good girl. See how she chooses to move this way. A little bit calmer trot. We're a bit nearer currently. That's fine. So I'm not going to ask for the canter on the downhill. Come on. Do want it to move on. I'll ask for it on an uphill, I think. Good girl. That was really nice going into that then. A little bit of a head down. She finds tension in the fact I ask her to go forward, so I need to think about softer ways of asking her to go forward, maybe. So let the rope out a little. Good girl. Not too bad though. Good girl. Good girl, that was much nicer. Lovely. Good girl. I think we'll just let her relax now. Good girl. So she'll stay out there and relax for a minute. And then if she does, I'll bring her back in and we'll finish it there. Very pleased with her. So at no point today has she snatched a line. I know we've been on a longer line. Chances are if we'd been on the shorter line again, I mean, it was only about a 12-foot line left over from the rein, so it wasn't very long at all. But chances are that she would have snatched it out, and it's that snatch effect that does seem to make her want to just take off. So luckily we haven't reached that point today. To start with, she was putting quite a bit of pressure on, and we were nearly at the end of the line at one point, but the rest of it we've had quite a bit of line to spare, and she's been very, very good on the whole. So interesting to watch where she feels tension, where she doesn't, how she moves her own body, how she learns to balance herself. And I'm really glad that she's able to do that without me on her back, because obviously once I'm on board it's a lot more complicated and a lot harder to do. Okay, I'll bring her back in and we'll get her released if she'll come in nicely. Good girl. Good girl. One more carrot I think is worthy. Hey? Good girl. There we are. Good girl. And let's set her free. Whee! Plunk, plunk. Good girl, JJ, you did really well. Well done.
Well, I do hope you enjoyed that this week, and I'll see you again for another video soon. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel, and don't forget to like the video. It really does help us, and drop us some comments about what you've been up to lately. Bye.